Welcome to the Creators Origin podcast, where actors, creators, and leaders in the filmmaking industry tell their stories. We're here to cut through the fluff, all that motivational bullshit we see, and get down and dirty with the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes with success in the industry. I'm here with the Foster brothers.
Yeah.
Hello, boys.
How's it going?
This is not an optical illusion. These are two different people. It's not some camera trick. How long have you guys been twins for?
Well, it's 33 years since birth?
It's not like a new thing.
No,
Just trying it out.
most of the time people, when they meet us, they asked, are you guys related? And we were like, no, we just met today. It's the common, you go to.
It's like the oh, did you get the haircut? Like, no, I got them all. Yeah. Growing up with the name Jack, it's like you get those common jokes. It's like you just from birth. It's like you got every single joke to do.
Lots of Titanic jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're here in your. This is your studio.
This is our studio.
This is our first episode we're shooting. How long have you guys been working on this?
3 years.
Yeah, since we bought the house, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, just slowly putting everything together, building it out.
Yeah.
This room down here was completely barren whenever we first got the house.
Did all the drywall. We built this table. Accumulating all the equipment, all the gear.
And we can't see from here, but there's a lot of D&D stuff. There's like real swords and axes and shit. I walked in, I was like, oh man, I'm toast. I don't want to get on these guys' bad side.
Prepared.
Yeah. It's so you guys are set up a lot for D&D related stuff. I saw you guys posted a clip of that. It looked really fun.
Yeah, so we were originally building out this room to be like a game room, like for us to play role-playing games and stuff like that in, or eventually it turned into, especially with you, having people come over and do podcasts and things like that. Just, content is king.
A space for people to come and do what they want to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what's like the long-term goal? What's your vision for this place?
A hub for multimedia production. We know a lot of actors that want to do headshots and stuff. We have a huge space over behind you that people can't really see for headshots and everything that we'll set up. And then just, people that want to come play D&D on the table or any other board game. It's not just the D&D table. It's set up for board games. We're going to do like poker nights and stuff,
Warhammer 40K. I've got my miniatures that I'm painting out there. I don't know if you saw them or not, but no.
We are nerds, Jack. We are nerds.
I go that. I wasn't going to say it. Yeah, maybe I'll cut to a little wide shot, seeing everything we got going here, some of the pictures that you sent through. But yeah, I mean, so we're here getting before we're talking about filmmaking, the industry. What is you guys? What's your view on the industry right now? Like the stuff's going on. Are you in work? Is it?
Work is slow. I did just get off a whole year of production, but after that, in our line of work, we're always looking for the next job. So after that year and leading up to the end of that year, I was scrambling to find work, and it's been about a month now with nothing. So yeah, it's a little slow. Yeah.
Did you guys get a lot of twin related stuff as far as roles? Have you seen much of that?
Sometimes.
Yeah, we have in the past. When we first started working in the industry, back in 2012, we first started work 2012, 2013. 2015 was our first twin related role. We worked on this thing for the ID channel called Evil Twins.
Okay.
It's like a reenactment series. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then
Played some pretty bad.
played some pretty fucked up people.
Yeah.
But then we ended up getting a second role with them as well, playing two completely separate twins that we just fit the bill for as well.
Typecast again.
Yeah. Twins. When the first one we did, we were supposed to be old, so they older than we are. So they grayed our hair. We were wearing glasses, and stuff. It was. They made us in the videos like. One of the shots they made us do was like eating dinner at the same time with the same hands and picking up the cup to drink at the same time.
Just typical twin stuff.
Typical twin stuff.
And how does the media portrayal of twins match up with your life experience as twins?
It's pretty good. There's stuff that's exaggerated on and things like that. Like some twins out there, I guess, say they can feel each other's pain from long distances, and I mean, that's not.
You guys ever done any kind of tests? TikToks or something where they'll like test two twins, and I think they're fake as hell, but they will stand on the other side of the wall, like, oh, lift up a finger, and they'll both do the same finger.
Right. I mean, honestly, some of that could be very true because we do have the same mannerisms and things. And, it's like growing up with someone, I've been with them for 33 years. So
that's,
we know what each other, we know what we're going to think.
Yeah, like the trope, like twins know what the other twin is thinking. It's true to a sense. It's more or less the lines of, we don't know exactly what we're thinking in each other's minds, but the way we speak, the inflection that we put on things, how we move our face, and our little hand movements. Like I'm using my hands right now. When we've been with each other our entire lives, so we know each minute movements. So we know we can have a conversation without speaking.
And if someone says something, we might think the same reaction just because we.
Yeah. A lot of the times that's when you'll hear us say the same thing at the same time.
You could spend 30 years with a spouse.
Exactly. You could do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Well, have you guys, what kind of fun stuff you guys ever like dated the same girl or got the?
I don't think we've dated the same. No, I don't think we've dated the same.
That's I feel like that's like one of those romantic comedy things. It's like this wacky thing. Oh, look, we're gonna swap out our dates.
We never did that with girlfriends, but we did that at school. We would switch classes, and take each other's classes.
That makes sense. Yeah, because they're not gonna be looking at you as closely.
Right.
Take each other's classes, maybe take a test for each other.
Yep.
You get caught?
No. Well, all right.
Yes.
In high school, no. The first time we did it in kindergarten.
Was in kindergarten.
Yeah, we got caught because Ian couldn't spell.
I couldn't spell his name. I spelled it with an O instead of an A.
Yeah. That'll get you.
Yeah. But that didn't discourage us from doing it again.
That's how you get better at it.
Yeah.
I learned how to spell.
It wasn't until maybe even like recently we started spending a little more time together that I was finally able to distinguish right from length. Because every time I saw it, I was like, Jordan, and it would take me a couple of seconds.
Also, as we're getting older, so we're starting to look different.
Right.
Like a couple of years ago, we looked up. People would call us identical. We're fraternal twins. We're not identical. So
explain the difference for other people who might not know. Obviously,
it comes down to the way you're birthed.
Yeah.
Identical is 2 sperm, 1 egg.
Mm-hmm.
Fraternal is 2 sperm, 2 eggs.
Sure.
So same embryonic sac, different embryonic sac.
So does that mean you're technically just brothers? And we're the definition you're not twins.
We're brothers born at the same time.
Yes, gotcha.
Yeah, which is a fraternal twin.
A fraternal.
Fraternal meaning brother.
Gotcha. So have you guys seen? You mentioned not much work going on. How much impact do you think AI has had on that? Have you seen or close to that at all?
With the whole the strike and everything that went on for workers getting compensated for everything that they do, and
we've been trying to scan for years.
Yes,
scammed.
Scanned. 3D scanned. I remember getting 3D scanned back in 2014 for something.
So there's no telling, because there was no sort of regulation for us, especially doing background work, getting scanned as background.
Yeah,
companies could be using our stuff already without us knowing, because there's no protections for us, especially in Georgia, being the background that works here is not unionized. There's no union for any of the background that's worked here. So
taking your background work and just applying it to other stuff, just putting you in the background of other.
Yeah, there's no telling if that's even being done, or there's no way to track. Honestly,
because there's nothing protecting them from not doing that to the people they scanned here in Georgia.
Because being a background actor, there's 10,000 people who are they may feel like, oh, this is how I get my big break, or this is where new actors come in, and so there's just an endless flood. They don't have any kind of protections or rights as a background.
Yeah, well, in Georgia specifically, SAG does not protect its background in Georgia. Like, even if you're SAG, and so how it works in different states, I'm sure many people know, like New York, California, there's a minimum number of SAG background that you have to cast in your movies or TV shows. In Georgia, it's not. You don't have to cast any SAG background. So it's anyone that comes up on the street.
I remember that I did background for Ant-Man and the Wasp. When we were allowed to talk from under NDA. Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. So like 12 years ago or something. And yeah, I wasn't SAG, but I remember the SAG background. This is over in California. The SAG background, when it was mealtime, they went to some separate room. They're like, all right, SAG, everyone come over here. They had these like beautiful, gorgeous meals, whatever. We had the cardboard pizza. You guys.
Georgia is sort of the Wild West in film still, even though Georgia's produced like the most film in the last 10 years here. For performers, it's still the Wild West, because I'm SAG here now, and technically being SAG, I'm not supposed to work on non-union projects, but there's no protections for SAG members doing background work here in Georgia, so I can do background on non-union projects. It's sort of the gray area in how everything works here,
and that's why we mainly do stand-in work. Yeah. So that's our bread and butter. That's how we pay our bills. Stand-in, photo double. We'll pick up actual acting roles or stunt gigs here and there, and to get the big payouts.
But that's the next thing I was going to, because you guys are pretty into stunt work, right?
Yeah, I'm getting more into stunt work now. I've only done a couple jobs, but I have tons of friends that are in it that I'm trying to go train with and things like that.
Yeah, you are a little bit more experienced in that?
In the past, it's been kind of slow for me lately.
It's also a tight-knit community.
Yeah, very tight-knit.
It's very, in the stunt community, trust goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of hard for someone that people don't really know very well to break into it, because trust comes a long way. I need to trust you to be able to hold the rope that's not going to let me fall.
And there's so much liability. And they really want someone who
that's
what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the catch-22. How am I going to gain your trust if I don't work with you?
Yeah.
So that's where
I'm not going to work with you because you don't trust me.
And then the training that you do outside of film with the people at these gyms and everything, that's builds trust, where you then eventually get a job.
Yeah. So any cool stunt stories, any like wild stuff that you have been a part of?
I did Shazam 2, which was the biggest stunt that I did, and I jumped over a car.
In your car? Or like
no, I was on foot and I jumped over the car while this giant creature with a scorpion tail arose out of a seed pod.
It was a fantastic tennis ball on a stick. But
so just jumping on top of like a car hood or something.
Jumping over a car, like the Starsky and Hutch little move over a car as other people ran.
Okay. So it's very cool little like somersault move or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was just picturing
it's like a hip kip. Is that what it's called?
Like no, it's like a Kong. I conked over the tail end of a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but think of Vin Diesel when he like one of the recent Fast and Furious where he like catches the car and then throws it away.
Wait, what? That happened.
I swear to God. I'm not making this up. There's a clip of it. It's like meme to oblivion.
Listen, I loved Fast and Furious for the first 3 or 4 movies, and then it became so far-fetched.
Just never watched it.
Well, so they went from stealing their big heist was stealing VCRs and TVs out of an 18-wheeler to world secrets and bank vaults.
Are they in space now?
And space travel.
No.
Running from sunken submarines, coming up through the ice to catch cars that they're driving on a frozen tundra.
Just crazy.
Yeah.
It went a little crazy. with
Yeah.
that.
I've never seen a full movie. I just like some of the clips. I just watched the one that where Vin Diesel goes, "I don't feel under arrest." I don't know. That was a great. I love that clip. So maybe I should watch.
Listen, I know like one or two Vin Diesel quotes from that series, and it's I live. What is it?
Live life, quarter mile
at a time. Yeah, yeah,
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a writer, I really appreciate good writing. I also appreciate really cheesy writing, and it's got its place where it's just like, oh man, that was cheesy as hell, but it worked for me. I feel like maybe Fast and the Furious is like,
Oh yeah,
They definitely they tick all the action boxes in a film for sure to get people hooked on. They know if you're going to see a Fast and Furious film now, you know it's an action film. It's not a romantic comedy. You know,
they filmed one here not too long ago, right? Was it 8? I think they filmed parts of it here. Maybe
yeah, it
8 or 9. We didn't work on it, but yeah, it was a big thing going on at the time. Can't remember.
So do you guys have anything upcoming? Anything moving forward to, or is it just kind of dry right now?
I'm doing yes, I have something up and coming. I don't know if I'm
You may or not be able to talk about.
yeah. What no stuff up.
What about Stranger Things? Can you talk about Stranger Things?
Not the most recent. I can't talk about the most recent season.
Okay, you talk about past.
Yeah, I can talk about.
You guys did any stunts on that, or just background?
No, just
No, actually, I mean,
didn't do a background. Only standing in and photo doubling on it.
Okay, for which character?
For so I started out as Jonathan in season 1. Season 2, I did Billy and what was it? Bob, who was played by Sean Astin.
Yeah, so you got like wigs on or something?
Yeah, every now and then they do wigs whenever we photo double. Yeah.
Any stories from that? Any of the you get any face time with the cast?
Well, yeah, I mean, they became like family even on season 1.
Yeah.
So like,
What are those kids like?
Well, they're grown up now.
yeah. It's so crazy watching them go from like this tall to your height or taller.
And season 1 and 2, we didn't really interface with the kids as much because we were standing in for the teens. But as they grew up, now like I can't. All right.
It's kind of tough, tricky. One of those things. It's like, how much can you really?
How much?
see?
Yeah.
Who's a dick? Who's not? It's like there's only
No,
so much.
no one's really.
Yeah,
no one was ever really a dick.
Oh,
And
Everyone was super nice, always kind and stuff. Work motivated. Yeah.
there's this scene in season 1 where everyone's over at a pool party and getting into the they're having like a party or whatever, and they all want to jump in the pool. And so we were shooting that scene. I had to put a wetsuit on because I was standing in for one of the characters to get in the pool and everything. So I'm just sitting there in a wetsuit all day it's cold as hell, sitting with a heater in front of my seat. And they spend like 2.5, 3 hours trying to figure out how to turn the heater off on the pool because they didn't want steam coming up because this is supposed to be in the middle of like summer or something.
Yeah. So it's that night the pool it was steaming because the water was much colder than the.
So they send out like 2 or 3 PAs to get as much ice from gas stations as they could.
right.
And they start trucking in all this ice to throw it in the pool. And that's probably one of my most memorable moments from season 1.
And they ask is
And then I think the pool frozen full of ice when it's 20 degrees outside. But I had a wetsuit on, so I only did not catch hypothermia.
This is the stuff that you don't think about. It's like these things that come up. Oh, we just need someone to go get ice. We didn't plan for this thing. It's why it's so useful to just have literally anyone on standby to just go do shit that you need.
yeah.
I remember directing my last film. I was wearing so many hats, and I was losing my freaking mind. I was like, if only I just had one more person just to say, do this, do that.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's a wild world. So you guys wrote a script recently. You wrote a story. Tell me about that.
We have a TV show that we have tons of stories that we want to tell. But it came down to budgeting the stories that we can tell, and the ones that we'll be able to tell in the future with VFX and stuff like that.
So scaling down stories with what is doable.
Yeah, what is doable, what is filmable, what's not going to take a ton of post-production that is going to break the bank and stuff like that.
Tell me, Morgan, you guys are familiar with like the universe of my
Oh yeah.
story and how I've been working on a shoestring budget on the last one, and now on this next one I've expanded it so much, the set pieces and the characters and the world design. I'm just like, man, this is gonna be expensive.
Nice.
But tell me about whatever you can with the current story you're working on.
It is a what would you define it as?
I would define it as like a crime drama.
Yeah, crime
A
drama.
little bit of thriller.
Family crime drama.
Mm-hmm.
Little sort of mystery. Think National Treasure
Mm-hmm.
mixed with crime drama sort of thing. Yeah.
What's different or unique about it that might kind of make it stand out from something else people wouldn't have seen?
So it takes a lot of cues from. Trying to think of this Johnny Depp movie. It was Johnny Depp, Angelina Jolie. She was.
I just remember from that movie them sitting on the train.
Yes.
And
kind of like punting him.
She was explaining to him how to ask a woman to dinner.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
scene. I can't remember the name of the movie.
But yeah,
it pulls a lot from that.
yes, it pulls a lot from that because
He goes
because he's a thief. He's like this really renowned thief.
Would you like to go to dinner?
Would you like to go to
That's not you ask a woman to dinner.
join me? I'm going for dinner. Join
me or
Too aggressive.
too aggressive. I'm having dinner. Would you like to?
I can remember.
I still asking you.
Join me for
Yeah.
dinner.
But it's a back and forth.
You will go to dinner with me. That was usually my approach.
And then the end was it came down to him saying, I think it was, I'm having dinner.
Would you like to?
Still asking you a
I'm
question.
going to dinner one way or another. So you can either have your God, like I give a shit. I think that was the one.
Yeah. I think that's
Something like that. No, I know that's a funny clip.
But yeah, it takes a lot of like the thriller, like the mystery style of that, and puts it into like a TV show aspect. So like,
And to be honest, I'm not sure it's something brand new or something so different. It's just it's a story about two brothers who lost their dad and find out that he was doing stuff that they had no idea about. And then it follows their lives trying to figure out what happened, basically.
And does that is there any of a reality of that for you guys, or is that
No.
it's completely fiction.
Yeah. Cool. And not everything needs to be like this groundbreaking, totally different. While it's like some stuff is like, we've seen a murder mystery story before, but this is my take on this. And like, I did a Groundhog Day story called Again a few years ago. It's like, this is not anything new. We've seen this before, but it's
your story.
it's my spin on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what have you guys been watching recently? What film or
We watch everything. So if it's on and it's new, we're gonna watch it.
From Silo to Crime Scene Kitchen.
Yeah.
you guys watch the new Squid Game season?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was your overall?
I enjoyed it because here's the thing. Squid Game when it came out, it created a new sort of, not so much genre, but it was its own thing.
It popularized the game genre.
Yeah.
Was there, but now there's people like, whoa, this is really fun to watch.
Yeah, because you had sort of like the Hunger Games. It's Hunger Games-esque, but has a new spin on it where it takes the people down on their lives, sort of thing.
You guys watch the sub or the dub?
I can't remember. We watch so many things, and we watch so many dubs, so many subs. We have a Crunchyroll account, so we watch so many things on there. So I can't remember which exactly.
I know people shit on the dub a lot. I personally, I know as a creator, it's like, I should watch the original, but there's some charm to the dub that I like, and just being able to think with the sub, you have to be so focused. If you look away for even a second, you
Right.
lose.
But I think they did a really good job because in a second season of that, it's hard to create such a great feeling again because it was so new at the time. It's hard to do that a second time,
Yeah.
staying within the same world. And I think they did a good job telling a different story within that same world.
I thought they nailed it. It's the same but different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they really, one of the things people commented on, they really hammered home the messages from the first one. I noticed being a little more heavy-handed with it because maybe they were like, oh, people didn't quite get it. Of like, they were the second season calling the people trash and stuff. I was like, oh, that's something they weren't doing in the first one. Like, they're really
Scum of the earth.
Yeah, like the elites coming and how they're talking about. They're kind of being more heavy-handed with it, and the voting and. I thought it was so interesting to watch these two groups and they're fighting each other instead of, fighting who's guys who put us in here in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, that's an overarching ideology as itself. Would take any nation for it. The higher ups try to get the minorities to fight each other, so they're not fighting what the actual problem is. And
let's go into politics.
Yeah,
It's what we're seeing now, and I'm not a political person. I'm not, frankly, not smart enough to. I didn't do well enough in school to know like all history, but I think it's a real shame, especially recently we see they've heavily succeeded in turning the working class against each other, the low income, like everyone's against each other instead of looking and be like, well, look, aren't these systems that are fucked up? It's the people up in the room with the control panels that are, throwing out the scraps and getting us to vote against each other. It's so I think Squid Game season 2 really was they did a good job of that.
Yeah, good, nice political undertone. That if you see it, it's definitely there.
Yeah.
I will say, I feel like there could have been a couple more episodes.
Yes, it was very short.
So,
and that's something I want to talk about too. How do you feel about this new generation of TV shows where it's only 8 episodes, 6 to 8 episodes?
Yeah, so streaming is interesting, right? Because it's, part of that comes from budgets. They're working on these massive budgets. They're like, this is what we got budget for, is 8 episodes, when it used to be 13, 16, 22 episodes a season.
Yes.
But it's this streaming dump that consumers think they want, but I think are actually horrible. People don't want at all. We had these shows that people still would talk about this day. Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. Well, people don't talk about that much anymore because of the ending. But Walking Dead. It's like I remember being in the office and each week being in the break room talking about theorizing the next episode and talking about week to week everything that's happening. No one talks about shows anymore.
Exactly, because you're gonna sit down in a room and watch an entire season in one day.
Yeah,
like what?
So then I connect with it immediately, like the day after. I binged that yesterday.
I'm only on season 2. All right. Well, I can't talk to you anymore now.
Yes. I can't talk to you and I won't talk to you, dick. Yeah, exactly. You end up resenting people for not having, sound on their couch for 7 hours the day before.
Yeah.
But I just loved connecting with people over the course of 13 weeks as a season came out. And
we used to have like with Game of Thrones or Walking Dead,
everyone would come over to our friend's house.
We'd all go to someone's house
and have literally just, it was a thing that we did. You don't do that with Netflix. You don't have a watch party for a full season of something.
Having an HBO subscription was the only way I could get people to come over to my house. Yeah. There's a reason people would hang out with me. I was like, now I got nothing. The season, I think the other thing people had issue with, what you said was it dropping off so soon, like on that cliffhanger, which again, I think people only have a problem with because they're so used to getting everything at once.
Yeah.
Because if you remember Breaking Bad, ended on this massive like cliffhanger. It was basically a mid-season finale coming up to the last season. Nobody had an issue with that.
Yeah.
I mean, people were chomping at the bit to see more, but they weren't complaining like they are with Squid Game.
Yeah, like Squid Game, the ender of this newest season is definitely a mid-season finale. There needs to be another half of this entire thing.
And I feel
Where
like
is it at?
most of that came from me feeling like there were a lot of things still unanswered. Like we didn't see any of Fat Cats watching, and this.
Well, yeah, they left it as a. That's why it's like kind of like a cliffhanger. But the thing is, they gave us no answers, but as the cliffhanger, but also not enough to like
They have a good algorithm on how to make people watch.
Yes,
Size of number of episodes in the season.
and that's going back to AI.
I'm sure there is someone that is using AI to figure out how to keep people watching.
Yes,
And that's without a doubt. That's been with all these social media and that they've got all those algorithms on lock. But just going back to what's interesting is if they were releasing weekly Squid Game, if they season 2, we'd probably be on week 6 or 7, right? Not even. We'd be on week 5 or 6 right now, right? So maybe next week would be that mid-season finale, and then how long do we have to wait? Maybe a couple more months. Like people don't have such a
like a month or two to get the next part of the season. But like the size of the things as well. I don't want to watch a 6 episode limited series. That's basically what. I don't know how many episodes this new Squid Game is. 6, 7, 8, maybe.
7 episodes. You wouldn't want to watch that weekly installments?
No, no, I would, but I want 15 episodes.
Right.
It's like it's not even a series anymore. It's a limited series is what it should be, and like.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a divide there between people that would watch a 6 episode weekly released series.
Yeah,
It would
sure.
feel
If it has a full opening, middle, climax, and end. Then it's done.
You don't want to watch
I don't want to watch 6
like mini
episodes and be
series
like,
to-
okay, now I got to wait a year to watch the rest of this series.
So I think a genre or a group that did that really well was the detectives one. What was
True Detective.
True Detective?
They're all anthologies, and that's a great format for smaller 6, 7 episode.
Because it had a beginning, middle, and end throughout all of them.
And then the second season, it's a whole different group of people, beginning, middle, and end. You're not waiting on to hear this story finish. And
Same with Fargo. Fargo did that really well.
yeah, Fargo did that really well. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get on some of these shows.
Like we said, we watch everything, and that's 1 because we like TV and movies. 2 to see what other people are doing, so we can kind of.
Some shots
Put
look
that-
really cool.
yeah.
Like, I want to try.
I wanna do this.
How did they do that?
You become better in your craft that way. I spent growing up watching so many DVDs in our house. I would watch some of the same DVDs like over and over and over again. I got so obsessive with. I think that's part of why I became like a storyteller, a writer. Was I saw the formula. So I think that's my buddy Casey always says complains that I don't watch enough movies. It's like you're a filmmaker and you haven't watched Fight Club. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? So he got me to watch.
So
My favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
When you watched it for the first time, was it ruined for you?
I didn't know anything about it, and that's part of why I wasn't. I was like, just dudes fighting, like whatever. Like it wasn't that. And then, it blew my mind.
Yeah,
I watched it like 2 years ago.
nice.
So, yeah, that's kind of the thing with trailers and storytelling, right? Because there's revealing too much versus revealing too little, getting people hooked enough, but not telling them. But ideally, I think the best experience for watching a movie is knowing nothing.
Yeah,
Maybe
I agree.
The title of this movie is A Bad Day, whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't know who's in it. You don't know the setting. You know that someone else has just said, this is a good movie. We're not going to watch it. I'm not going to show you a trailer. I'm going to pop you in front and watch it.
And that
best experience.
that
you don't get that experience to watch a movie.
Yeah, it's very and it's rare to get that experience because I think it's hard for people to market their movie without marketing
Just
like that.
it's called A Bad Day. Just go see it.
Yeah.
Just trust
Unless you're like a very well-known filmmaker.
Yeah.
The marketing of the movie sometimes trailers sort of ruin the movie experience. They can.
Whenever you see the scene of him falling from out of a helicopter, and then you're in the movie, you're like, oh, he's in a helicopter. I know how this scene is gonna end.
Yeah. Or a trailer puts all its best moments in, or a movie puts all its best moments.
A lot of comedies do that.
And
A lot
then-
of comedies that aren't really that funny put all of their funniest moments in the trailer. So you go see the
Like, oh, this is gonna be really good.
watch the movie. It's like the only funny parts were the ones that were in the trailer.
So you've already heard the jokes, and you're like, well, okay, it was funny. Yeah.
I love a good trailer though. I've editing trailers for my films has been one of the most fun experiences. That the music and the tone and the setting, that is all really fun.
Yeah, yours was good because after watching your film and seeing the trailer, yours didn't reveal the big information. Your trailer didn't reveal the big information in the movie, like a lot of trailers seem to do.
I got really this is the we all get the imposter syndrome. I got so started to get so insecure when I was creating that trailer. In my head, I was like, man, does this make sense? Is this giving enough? Is this like, or this should be confusing? Because I know the context of what's going on. It was really tough for me to release that trailer. I got really in my head about it.
No, it was good. It was a good trailer. Yeah. The music choice was really good.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Music is tough. Music is something I'm navigating right now as far as like copyright.
Yeah.
Stability is it's you think you got the perfect track. You're like, I was getting myself from Epidemic Sound, and I thought I had the licenses for it, and I found out recently that maybe it's not exactly what I thought. Ran back to my edits, I'm like,
we know some local bands that we're going to try and use for the music for our film.
So we're basically going to produce the music ourselves.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this is part of what I'm trying to create with, or what Creators Origin as a business is doing, is connecting different artists and creators with these people. So, okay, you are a new creator, you don't know people in the industry, or maybe you've been in there for a while, but you don't trust the people you do know. You need is Creators Origin going through the process of vetting individuals, hey, you need a couple of stunt guys, or you need like a band to create some music, or and it's connecting you with these resources and the people that can that are able to work with you in these projects, are able to offer you good rates and this kind of thing. So when stuff like that pops up, you talk about, hey, we're talking about like creating our music. That gets me excited. It's like, all right, this is another resource for us to pin on that board for people to be able to access and look up.
Back to that trailer thing. We were dabbling around with creating a video game on Unreal Engine at one point. It's kind of died off now, but
that's pretty advanced stuff. Working off Unreal Engine.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty simple once you learn it.
Like I would say, like after a week, you got all the hotkeys down.
What are the major games that are on Unreal Engine?
Most of them.
So many.
Yeah. Any AAA title now is usually using Unreal Engine.
And Unreal is, a lot of games are porting their old games into Unreal 5 now, like calling it a remaster. So they're remastering the game in Unreal 5 because it's just so much better.
It's the most advanced thing out there right now.
Yeah. So their polygon system in that for terrain is just, the computing power needed is far less, and the detail is far greater.
Yeah. So is that's something you're still working on, or that you said there was a band?
Yeah, every now and then. But I was mainly getting at like trailers. We were talking about trailers and stuff, and we were thinking about like how would we promote this game if we ever do finish it and create it. And the promotion is so the game itself has no name. It's just 3 dots. 3 white dots on a black. If you get it in a game, it'd be a black case, and 3 white dots would be on it. It would have nothing else on the game.
Tough one to search.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we wanted it to be like, I think the thinking behind that was people would ask what it is, and they'd have to see.
You have to find out for yourself.
I see. So this is what we were talking about as far as knowing nothing about
Knowing
it
nothing.
going in.
Yes.
Just completely.
And then like advertised on the TV, we would take up some commercial space
And it would just
and
be
just
three dots.
three, like one show up, the next one show up, the next one show up.
dot, dot, dot.
That's
is
Did
there-
I say more?
that's it.
That triangle.
Yeah. No, they would move around. So they'd be in a line, and then sometimes they'd maybe move around and be in a triangle. You know, it's just something that's intriguing about it enough to be like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
For you to go and try and figure it out.
After you play the game,
After
you
you play it,
realize
Figure out
it
what
is.
it means. But yeah.
Man, that's if people had
It's a far out game concept.
It
If
is.
I say anything up more
We're not
about
going to
it,
say anything on camera.
a company will take
They will make
the
it.
information.
cannot freaking wait. Yeah. So we talked a little about TV shows. What movies have you guys watched recently? Anything recent that's come out that you thought was good? There's a lot of talk about how shitty movies are now. It's all Marvel and remakes and stuff. But
Well, Marvel's dead. So
okay, there we go. That's I'd say a hot take, but I guess not that hot.
I think the superhero movie had its arc.
yeah, and
Its peak.
so like it was made for a certain generation, I think. When it started with Iron Man, it kind of captured a larger audience, and then it kind of focused itself in on the fanboy generation of people that loved comics. Still some older and younger people, but it was mainly for like this one. I think this is personal opinion. This one like generation of people that like comic books and Marvel characters or any type of superhero. We got what we wanted.
Yep.
Now they're just making shit to make shit.
Yes.
You can tell that in kind of the decline of the I almost want to say like storytelling, because they're just not that captivating anymore.
Am I wrong in saying that a lot of stuff is just targeted toward kids now, and kids are so dumb that they'll watch anything they need to worry about?
If it's
Right,
superheroes, kids are gonna watch it.
Well, I think it moved from telling fantastic stories into getting out more content.
Yes.
There was a shift. There was a shift in there, and I think that happened when everyone started to realize, hey, content. We just make more content. Make
And
more content.
within that shift, they realized. I think what was realized was, all right, we've told these character stories. What other characters' stories can we tell that we think people are going to like? So they picked these sort of,
tertiary characters.
tertiary characters that
they have great stories.
fans would definitely know.
Ice Widow and
Some super fans of comic books and sort of Marvel would definitely know these characters. The mainstream people were like, okay, this is a new character I've never heard of. And then it's sort of like they told a story. The fanboys weren't happy because it wasn't right to the comic books, and the mainstream wasn't super happy because, okay, it's another superhero movie. It's a new character. I can kind of get behind it, but I'm not really attached to it because it's not my superhero.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't have interest in the green garbage disposal. Bullshit person they have going on out right now. Yeah. But is there what's been good that's come out? What's
been good?
been like?
I liked so there was this movie, I believe it was on Netflix. I said it the other day. It's the one where a group of friends have a party before two of them are getting married, and one of their strange friends comes to the party. They were invited. They didn't think they were going to come.
It's called It's What's Inside.
It's What's Inside.
This is indie, or this is I've heard
It felt
I
like
don't-
an
it
indie
felt
film.
like A24,
But
I don't know.
theaters.
No,
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will say Netflix does a good job with films. But this one was their strange friend comes, he has a device that lets them switch bodies.
Mhm.
And you sort of play a game trying to figure out who's in your body throughout the film. But it was really well done.
Yeah.
Different twist on a little thriller.
But it sets you up.
Suspense.
The suspense style of it sets you up in the beginning of the movie to already be thinking about the terrible things that could happen towards the end of the movie. And then when they start to happen, you're like, yeah, I was already thinking that was happening. This is great to watch.
Yeah. And then some of them are like, oh, wow.
Shit happened.
You're like, oh, wow, I didn't even think that could happen. Or, yeah.
I watched I was watching a few different watching more movies recently since my girlfriend moved in. We've been having a few more nights in, and we watched some real crap.
Yeah.
Last week we watched what was it? I can't remember the name of it. It's a Jason Bateman movie where he
The plane.
no. Yeah, that Carry On I
Carry On?
thought was decent.
I'd
It was
like-
It was very well done. Our dad is a pilot, and he was pointing out every single thing that was wrong.
you gotta suspend your disbelief. I definitely myself I was like that's
But he's
The end of the movie.
Yeah,
If you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it. But the end of the movie, it can't. That's not a thing that exists.
that doesn't happen. A lot of that stuff doesn't happen.
she's like, all right, take off he's got it covered. Take off the plane. Yeah. Pretty ridiculous. No, I liked Carry On. It was an old Jason Bateman movie we watched though, where it's kind of I feel gross even saying it, where he like sperm jacks Jennifer Aniston's like sperm donor. You guys hear this? Like she got like a sperm donor, and he like goes in the bathroom like accidentally like whoops, he like spills the sperm, and then he's like, well, I guess I'll fill it with my own.
Oh,
And so it cuts to 7 years later, and she's got a kid, and it's his. It's like you guys.
I have not seen this.
And it's supposed to be. It's like marketed as a comedy. I'm like, this is really bizarre. And I'm not. I could. The worst part is I could picture a general audience in the 2000s losing their shit, cracking up at him, like, whoa, what's he doing? I was like, this is horrible. Anyway, it just felt very strange and sad.
No, I haven't seen that.
That was crap. We watched some other, but the best movie that I really liked, we watched it last night, was the Scooby-Doo movie, the original live action.
Oh,
Okay.
it's so good.
I was in love with this thing. I'm like, they don't, yeah, cliche to
On
say.
when
They
they
don't make movies
don't
like
make
this
movies.
anymore.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
no.
They
It's
don't.
the island, right?
The Spooky Island.
Yeah.
Spooky Island.
There's some great moments, like it's very
The cast is perfect.
cast is perfect.
You guys watched that yesterday? It was Matthew Lillard's birthday yesterday.
That's the Shaggy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's goofy. The cast is perfect. The themes are like the like soul sucking and him like using their souls for power. I'm like, whoa, this is kind of it's goofy, but it also feels kind of adult in a way. Like these are
It's so
the
good.
monsters are horrifying. I didn't mind the CGI. Anyway,
Yeah.
an old movie like that. It was They don't make movies like this anymore. Is what I'm getting at. But I loved that. Wasn't a fan of Monsters Unleashed, the second one.
Yeah, I think a movie that was along the lines that was it was reminiscent of that Scooby-Doo movie, but not, it wasn't set as like a scary movie. It was Hubie Halloween with Adam Sandler.
Hubie Halloween?
No, it's Hubie.
It's Hubie?
Hubie's name. Yeah.
Okay.
His name's Hubie.
Yeah.
Hubie Halloween. It was reminiscent of a movie from that time. That it had that same comedic flow that Scooby-Doo had.
So here's what I think worked about why Scooby-Doo now, when all those actors were unknown.
Mhm.
You didn't know any of them. Now what would it be? Fred would be played by Chris Pratt. Shaggy would be like Tom Holland. Daphne is like, freaking Sydney Sweeney. They do all these names.
I would do Velma as Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney. Yeah. Okay. You a Velma stan?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, my first crush. Yeah. Because they feel the need with these IPs to throw everything at the wall.
Yeah.
And I want to say that movie felt relatively low budget, at least compared to
I think it had a pretty big budget.
pretty big budget. Okay.
Yeah.
As what? Warner Brothers?
More about
Yeah.
Maybe it was, for that license.
Yeah, I think a lot of films rely on their names to get their idea across and to get people in the door to watch it. And it might turn out to be like pretty shitty movie, but it has cool people in it that people like for other stuff, and that sort of perpetuates the name of the movie because it has these people in it, but it wasn't that great of a movie.
Yeah. That we could talk, I think, just a whole lot more about general audience, what they do to films.
Like we've worked on over 200, maybe even over 300 productions. And some of the best ones that I've worked on, no name actors.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, a lot of the great, big house name actors worked on fantastic movies with them as well, and TV shows. So it's really hit or miss with like what you're getting.
Kind of just play themselves though with the big name actors. They
So
stop playing
there
characters.
are some that I've worked with on multiple productions that they play the same.
You feel like they're the same.
They're the same person. Which is probably why they're cast in that role.
Yeah.
But then there's others that I've worked with that play literal schizophrenic opposites of each other.
Yes.
So there's a wide range.
Cool. Well, because it's been so great talking to twins, the Foster brothers here. If you would like to book this podcast space for your own discussions, promoting your brand, I'll have links to that you can go to, all that other bullshit. And I'll just go with my good outro here, whatever. I'll work on this over time. But thanks so much for having me in the studio, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great talking to you. And we will see you next time.
Yeah.